Welcome back to the Lore Loom, where we turn powerful books into simple stories you'll actually remember. If you're new here, hit subscribe. We share a new story every day. Today's story is about a young performer who had incredible talent, but nobody seemed to notice. He tried everything to get people to watch him, but he just kept blending into the crowd. What he did next was so strange, so unexpected, that it made everyone stop and stare. Leo loved magic. He practiced for hours every day in his room, making coins vanish and cards appear from thin air. His biggest dream was to perform at the annual Willow Creek Summer Fair, to show everyone his amazing tricks. This year, he finally got a spot. He set up his small stage near the big Ferris wheel, feeling a flutter of excitement in his stomach. The fair was a whirlwind of colors and sounds. There were jugglers, singers, and acrobats, all trying to get people's attention. Leo started his first show with his best card trick, making a queen disappear and reappear from his pocket. A few people stopped, clapped politely, and then walked on, drawn by the smell of popcorn or the shouts from the strongman game. He tried a coin trick, making silver coins vanish from one hand and clink into the other. Still, people drifted away. He was good, really good, but he just wasn't special enough to hold their interest. By the end of the day, Leo felt a heavy sigh escape him. He had practiced so hard, but no one had truly noticed. The next morning, Leo wandered through the quieter parts of the fair. He found himself at an old, dusty tent called Mr. Abernathy's Curiosities. Inside, an older man with kind eyes and a long, white beard sat polishing a strange old music box. This was Mr. Abernathy. Leo told him how discouraged he felt, how his magic just wasn't getting any attention. Mr. Abernathy stroked his beard. He said, "Son, the fair is like a sky full of stars. Most are bright, but they all look the same. To truly shine," he continued, "you need to make a ripple, not just a splash. And sometimes, the best ripples are a little untidy. People crave what they don't understand," Mr. Abernathy said with a twinkle in his eye. "Give them a puzzle, not just a picture." Leo left the tent, his mind buzzing. Untidy ripples? A puzzle? He realized he had been trying to be perfect, like all the other performers. He found his friend, Maya, who also worked at the fair, selling colorful balloons. "Maya," he said, "I have a crazy idea. I'm going to make people talk about me, even if it's for something weird." First, he changed his stage. He put up a huge, plain banner that said, "The Unseen Wonder." Then, he placed a large, locked wooden box in front of it. He called it the Whispering Box of Willow Creek. He told Maya to casually stand near it and whisper to other fairgoers, "I heard it glows at night, or maybe it's just a bunch of old socks." Soon, people stopped. They debated what was inside. Was it treasure? A rare animal? Or just a silly prank? Some grumbled that the box was blocking the path, but even their complaints just drew more attention. Leo even started playing very strange, slightly off-key music from a small speaker hidden near the box. People would squint, trying to figure out the source of the odd sound. They stayed longer, trying to solve the puzzle. For his own performances, Leo started wearing a half mask and a long, flowing cloak. He rarely spoke directly to the audience. His tricks were still good, but now he added strange, unexplained movements, making people wonder what he would do next. He would often leave a trick half-finished, or make something disappear without ever showing it reappear, leaving the audience buzzing with questions. The crowds grew bigger and bigger. People weren't just watching his show, they were talking about it, arguing about it, trying to figure him out. Even the fair owner, Mr. Henderson, a serious man who usually just cared about ticket sales, stopped by to watch Leo. The day of the spectacle showdown arrived. Leo was one of the finalists. Other performers had dazzling lights and perfect routines. Leo felt a shiver of doubt. But he remembered Mr. Abernathy's words, "Give them a puzzle." When it was his turn, Leo walked onto the stage. He didn't start with a trick. Instead, he asked Mr. Henderson to turn off all the main lights for a moment. The fairground went dark, except for the distant Ferris wheel lights. A hush fell over the crowd. Then, from behind Leo's stage, hundreds of tiny, glowing lights began to float upwards into the night sky. They danced and swirled, forming strange, beautiful patterns, like a constellation of tiny, magical stars. The crowd gasped. No one had ever seen anything like it. It wasn't a magic trick they understood. It was a mystery they were watching unfold. The lights slowly vanished, one by one, into the darkness. When the stage lights came back on, Leo stood alone, his mask hiding his smile. The audience erupted in cheers and applause, louder than for any other act. They weren't just impressed, they were utterly baffled and delighted. The judges looked at each other, confused but amazed. Mr. Henderson himself walked onto the stage and shook Leo's hand. Leo didn't win this spectacle showdown that night. He won something much bigger. He had received a card from a famous talent scout who wanted him to perform at bigger events. From that day on, Leo, the unseen wonder, was never unseen again. He always kept a little bit of mystery about his performances, just enough to keep people talking. And sometimes he'd still visit Mr. Abernathy's tent, sharing stories and learning new, untidy ways to make ripples. Here's the cool part. This whole story comes from a famous book called The 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. It's inspired by Law 6, court attention at all costs, the idea that it's better to be noticed, even for strange or controversial reasons, than to be ignored. Our character is made up, but the lesson is very real. If you like this, the book goes even deeper. Link below. So what did this story teach us? First, remember Leo's early shows. Being simply good isn't always enough if you're surrounded by other good people. You need to stand out. Second, don't be afraid to be different, even a little strange. When Leo put out The Whispering Box or played odd music, it made people curious and brought them closer. Third, mystery is a powerful magnet. When Leo created those floating lights that no one could explain, he didn't just entertain, he made everyone wonder. That wonder kept their attention long after the lights were gone. What would you have done to make people stop and stare? Books can be long, and most of us don't have time to read everything we want to. That's why we're here at the Loom, to turn powerful book ideas into simple stories that stick with you. If you found this story helpful or inspiring, please subscribe and ring that bell so you don't miss our next adventure. Tell us in the comments, what part of Leo's journey resonated with you the most? Was it the whispering box, the strange music, or the floating lights? See you in the next story.